Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's mini class. My name is Bernard Alvarez, and we are going to be doing our monthly mini class called "A Journey to what's it called? Journey to Connect with Your Higher Self." This is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I believe it really is a fundamental aspect whether you are into meditation or magical work or new age beliefs, whatever it might be, the evolution of your soul really, I believe, harnesses on developing a relationship with our higher self. And today we are going to cover, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Today, we are going to be covering the definition of what the higher self is. We're going to discuss some of its characteristics, and I'm going to offer you some daily tools to help you connect with it on a regular basis. And then finally, we will be doing a meditation that you can use and listen to every day if you want to connect you with your higher self. So, welcome to today's class. I am very glad you're here to join me for this, again, a class that is very near and dear to my heart. So, let's go ahead and get started. What is the higher self? That word has been around for quite a while. It's thrown around by people of multiple spiritual backgrounds, me being one that likes to use it quite a bit. For me, the higher self is that part of us that connects us to the universal source consciousness. It's that part of us that is the intermediary that taps into that source wisdom that's available to us all the time. One of the definitions that I love that I have on my notes that I like to share with you is that the higher self is the divine intuitive aspect of ourself that transcends the ego and our physical existence. It is your true essence. It is connected to universal consciousness. One way to look at the higher self versus, I don't want to say the lower self, but your daily waking consciousness is a good way of looking at it, is think of the higher self as the sun, and that our daily waking consciousness, our ego self, are the clouds that obscure the light from the sun. That's a great analogy for me. The higher self is the deepest, most authentic part of our being. Many people call it our spirit. Some people call it our soul. In I don't want to say high magic, but let's just say Crowley used to define it as the holy guardian angel that watches over us. And that connects us with universal consciousness. It transcends the ego. It really does transcend any ego limitations. It is and embodies a pure wisdom. It embodies pure unconditional love. It is the part of us that is our intuition and nudges us to a path that is for our greatest good and for our highest good. Many people call it our intuition. That's another great way of discussing what it is. It's your intuition. Let's see here. I'm going to look at my notes here and share a little bit of what I wrote that I thought was just so flowery. I got to share it with you. It embodies pure wisdom, unconditional love, and inner peace. It's a bright guiding light within you that always knows the best path for you. Your everyday self may be clouded by fears, by doubts, societal expectations. Your higher self operates from a place of deep intuition and connection to universal consciousness. It is the source of your utmost profound experiences, the gentle nudge guiding you toward your true purpose, and the inner voice reminding you of your infinite potential. Um, some of the characteristics of the higher self is that exact unconditional love. It is, I like to share the characteristics and kind of give you a little bit of a contrast between higher self and ego self. So, when you're in that place of unconditional love, that's your higher self. When you're in that place of judgment and self-deprecating, type of thinking, that's going to be our ego self. The higher self is pure compassion. When we are feeling compassionate, when we're feeling inner peace, when we're feeling that serenity, that is our higher self. That's our alignment with our higher self, I should say. Some of the things that we want to look out for in getting to know our higher self characteristics is also to look out for signs of our ego and our lower self. Fear, doubt, selfishness, judgment. All of those things are not our higher self. I see the higher self as the place that I want to be in when I'm making life changing decisions. I like to see myself or feel my connection to the higher self when I am performing ritual, when I am performing some type of manifestation or spell or magic, um, performing, pagan ceremony, whatever it is. I tap into my higher self when I'm doing that. A lot of people may call that going into trance work, and I can go into a little bit more about that. I'll just give you a little blurb. Maybe we'll talk about it more in the future. But when I'm tapped into my higher self, I can directly communicate with my spirit guides. And that, for me, is the most profound experience when I'm tapped in and aligned with my higher self. So there is a contrast in the characteristics, and these are contrasts that we are able, and you are now going to be able to keep an eye out on. It's like, okay, lower self, higher self. Again, I don't like to use those words, but it is helpful to see contrast. Knowing what you don't want kind of helps us to move and elevate our mind and our thoughts into that place where we do want that connection and alignment with higher self. Tuning in to our higher self, feeling aligned with our higher self, making decisions with clarity, experiencing synchronicities. How many of you have experienced those synchronicities? Was like, wow, look at that. And this just unfolded before me. And I was talking about this, and now it's in my life. That's our higher self. That's our higher self guiding us down that personal path or up that personal path to allow us to be in that place to have those particular experiences. It is not selfish. It is not um, judgmental of self or of others. So it's a great place to be. I know it's a big call for many of us. Life takes over, life distracts us, and life will keep us. Well, distracted and trying to put out fires and little things. I'm going through one of those weeks myself, so I'm kind of glad that we're discussing this today. So, let me tell you a little bit of some things that you can do to help maintain or develop your relationship with your higher self. And first, and probably the most important to me, because I do this one, is a daily meditation practice, practicing mindfulness, using guided meditation. That's absolutely fine. Using guided meditation that is focused on connecting with your higher self, like we're going to be doing in just a few minutes, is very helpful. It sounds cliche, but positive affirmations, using those affirmations and repeating them over and over in your mind to create those new neural pathways so that it becomes innate or instinctive for us to lean into our higher self. My favorite one that I use is uh, let thy will be my will. And you can take that in many different ways, but for me, it's my higher self. I want to live from a place that I am centered and aligned with my higher self, and that the choices I'm making are on my path are aligned with the will of my higher self, which is really my will. In a lot of occult writings and in magical writings or pagan or witchcraft or anything like that, you'll see writings that use the capital W, W-I-L-L, versus the small W-I-L-L, and aligning thy will, the big W, with my will, the lower self, is a great affirmation to use. Some of the other things that you can do on a daily basis is to journal about your experiences, your attempts to align with your higher self, or when you notice when you're in your lower self. It's like, oh, well, today, yeah, I was working for my lower self. It's great to write that stuff down. Or when you notice that you are aligned with your higher self and how an event might go your way, or a certain synchronicity unfolds before you that ends up being really positive, write all that stuff down. I have a something that I call my intention journal. I don't have a higher self journal. I admit it. I have a journal. But when we write these things down, we have the ability to look back and say, okay, well, that's what worked. That's what's not working, and kind of like make our decisions and choose a way that is better for us. Who doesn't want serenity? Who doesn't want inner peace? Who doesn't want to be able to develop a relationship with their own intuition and have that trust in that intuition so that we can make better choices within our lives? I would think all of us do. All of us, especially those of you that are in my community and are watching this. These are some great little skills that we can do. And of course, my favorite is, I call it forest bathing. Getting out in nature, getting away from our to-do list, our calendar, our schedule, our responsibilities for, societal norms and whatnot, and just going out in nature and letting that energy fill us, quieting our minds, reconnecting with the everything. Nature has a tendency to reconnect us with the everything. A few weeks ago, I did a class on working with elementals, and when we're in nature, we are better attuned, I guess is a good way of saying it, to attune with the vibration and the frequency of the natural world around us. And that natural world is all the characteristics of the higher self. It is not judgmental. It is connected to universal life force. It does what it does naturally, without opinions and without judgment. So think about those nature walks to help you align with your higher self. There are spiritual practices that you can do. I had mentioned earlier a bit about using meditation, mindfulness, and using guiding meditation that are focused on connecting with your higher self. But there are things that open us up to our higher self that are even more profound. One example is Reiki. Reiki has a tendency to balance our energy. Reiki enhances our spiritual connection. If you have a friend that does Reiki, if you do Reiki, if you go to a Reiki circle, it's going to help restore that balance and help you feel connected with your higher self. Also, visualization. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't have the ability to visualize. Visualization is not always seeing, this clear picture. Sometimes visualizing means visualizing a feeling. Sometimes visualizing means feeling a particular way, or creating a certain mood or a certain emotion. So, visualizing your higher self and interacting with it on a regular basis as a daily tool is very helpful. Again, that's something that I do every morning. I do my prayer, I do my meditation, and then I tell my higher self, let my will be thy will. And I would just sit there, allow this golden light to come around me, and I just sit in it and listen. Listen, not with my ears, but with my heart and my mind and my soul. Breath work. What a great tool. We talk about breath work a lot on this in this community. Conscious breathing techniques to center you, to ground you, to make you feel connected, to elevate your vibration and your focus are wonderful spiritual practices that you can do to develop a relationship with your higher self. Um, so I am going to let's go ahead. I haven't opened the chat room yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. See if any questions before we move into meditation? No, I don't see anybody. All right. So, what I'd like to do today, and to prepare you for in the next few moments, is that we're going to be doing about, let's say, a 10-minute meditation to connect with our higher self. One of the things I like about this particular meditation is that not only do you get to meet with your higher self, you get to align with your higher self, you get to feel the sensations of that connection, and that in turn helps us in our day-to-day life. It's like, well, I'm not feeling that, so I'm not necessarily acting from a place of my higher self. So I think I know that this meditation will be very helpful for you, for me. I'm grateful to be able to have it on a recording for my supporting members, so they can use it. And so, without further ado, I'm going to ask you if you would please find somewhere comfortable to sit. The only thing I ask, if you're going to lay down, try not to fall asleep. You can lay down if you're somewhere you can lay down and you want to. If you are sitting, please make sure that your feet are able to be flat on the ground and you have the ability to keep your spine straight. And I'm actually going to move my chair a little bit so I can. All righty. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly, pausing, and gently exhaling. And again, taking a very, very deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly, pausing, and exhale completely. Feel the thoughts in your mind beginning to slow down. Feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed. And feel your body from your head down to your toes, feeling heavy, comfortable, warm, and very, very relaxed. And just take a moment to sit within this relaxation. Feel all the stress has melted away. Your focus is here, it's now. Now bringing your focus within your mind. Allow yourself to go into the depths of your inner soul, your inner wisdom. Allow yourself to go deeper inward into that inner darkness that is calm, that is safe. Remember to breathe through your nose on your regular natural breathing rhythm as we go deeper and deeper into that inner darkness, that inner void. And within that inner void, you see a light getting brighter and brighter. And this bright light shows you a stone path at your feet and a very, very dense fog ahead of you. Allow yourself to step onto the next stone on the path into that foggy mist. And in that foggy mist, you notice there is a step upward and realize it is a stairway going upward. But you are safe and secure as you step up this misty stone stairway, taking another step upward and another through the mist until you finally reach that top step and the mist begins to wisp away, allowing you to see before you a beautiful meadow. And the beautiful meadow has a bright sun shining down before it, tall grasses blowing in the wind. And you can feel the breeze gently kissing your cheek, blowing your hair. And as you look across the meadow, you see a stone throne made of the same stones that you were walking up. It is bold, it is firm, and it is strong. And upon that throne, you see this bright golden light. And the bright golden light expands outward toward you, enveloping you from head to toe and behind you. And as you look toward that stone throne once again, you see the image of a light being beckoning you to walk closer. And you begin to walk through the tall grasses toward this beautiful, bright, golden light being who calls you closer and closer until you are close enough to see a form begin to shape, a form that looks identical to you. It is you. You recognize it as your higher self. And standing just a few feet in front of it, it smiles at you with a loving expression. And you can feel the golden light it emits surrounding you, filling you with love, peace, and with wisdom. The wisdom to know exactly what this higher self is asking you to do as it beckons you to sit upon its lap. And you sit upon the lap of this light being that looks like you, that is your higher self. And you feel its arms embrace you, holding you close, making you feel safe, comfortable, warm, and clear minded. And suddenly you find yourself sinking into the form of this light being that is your higher self. You can feel yourself merging. Its skin envelops you and becomes your skin. Its head, its arms, its torso, its legs, and its feet have enveloped you and merged with you. And here you are, sitting on this lovely stone throne, enveloped in golden loving light, sitting as one with your higher self as you allow its energy to permeate through every part of your body, your legs, your torso, your shoulder, your head, and your mind. And you feel a vibration coursing through you like you're energized, feeling happy, feeling calm, feeling its wisdom, sensing the unconditional love flowing through every cell in your body and illuminating every part of you. And just sit here for a moment. Allow yourself to ask your higher self, what message do you have for me? And just sit, listen, sense. And having received a message from your higher self, you tuck it away in your mind so that you may remember what you may or may not have felt, what you may or may not have thought. And take a snapshot in your mind of the sensations you are feeling, knowing that this are the clues that represent when you are in alignment with your higher self. And now you stand up, still enveloped by the light of your higher self, still enveloped by the form of your higher self. You carry it with you as you begin to walk across this meadow, knowing you are walking back toward the place where you have entered this sanctuary. Before you, you see the mists begin to gather, the fog beginning to get thicker in front of you, placing your foot on that first stone step, stepping courageously and knowingly and intuitively into the dense fog. You step onto the next stone step, going downward, and on to the next, stepping down the stone staircase through this dense fog, bringing your higher self with you until finally you have stepped on that bottom step, knowing that you are at that bottom step. The fog begins to dissipate. And as that fog dissipates, you begin to sense that darkness once again, that void, back into the void of your inner being, back into the void of your inner self, your inner world, feeling the presence of your higher self, bringing your attention now back to your physical form, bringing your attention now back to the room or the place that you are seated or laying in, coming back to the present, bringing yourself back to your body. You begin to feel your physical form, sitting on the chair you are sitting, laying on the floor you are laying. And 3, you begin to wiggle your toes, bringing you ever closer to this moment. And 2, you begin to wiggle your fingers, physically wiggling them, bringing you deeper back into your physical form. Until 1, you open your eyes, having returned to the place where you started. You have brought the presence of your higher self with you. And back in this place of your physical form, in the physical space you're sitting in, take a moment to recall what you have felt, what you are feeling. And allow yourself to bring yourself back to your daily waking consciousness, shaking your hands if you need to, shaking your head if you need to, as if you've woken from a wonderful deep sleep, feeling rejuvenated, feeling energized, feeling at peace. You're back and ready to take on the rest of your day. Blessed be. Namaste. Welcome back. Take note of how you felt. Take note of the messages you may have received. And remember that all you have to do is alter your state to this state of consciousness to be aligned with your higher self once again. If you get a little distracted, if you get a little stressed out, turn on this meditation again. Use it. If you've got a big decision to make, utilize this meditation to help you have that clear mind to make a decision. If you're feeling lost, angry, judgmental, you now have the opportunity to come back to your higher self. And as the days move forward, allow yourself to kind of notice when you're in alignment, when you're not in alignment, when you're sensing or feeling, ego, that cloud is covering the sun, so to speak. This is a wonderful tool to help you to begin to develop a relationship with your higher self. I hope you will continue to use it. And I look forward to hearing your responses. I know you all might be a little bit out of it. If you want to, you're welcome to comment in the chat. If not, that's absolutely fine. If you have any questions about anything you may have felt, this would be the time to do it. But let me close out and say that, as usual, I enjoy doing this with all of my heart, or I wouldn't be doing it. I want to thank you all for being here. And note, we do have some stuff in the works, and that is on, I believe it is, on June 11th. I will be back here to do our monthly Q&A podcast. I think we weren't able to do it last month because of Beltane, or this month. It's still May. I feel like it's June. So we will be doing the Q&A in June on June 11th. If you have any questions that you need to ask me, you can send them to me beforehand. I always print them up, or you can send your questions live during the broadcast. That's absolutely fine as well. Also, please be aware that I do have my new mini ebook out about the basics of paganism and learning about earth-based spiritual practices. It's available on Amazon for sale, but it is free for all of my supporting members. As well, the Knowing the Tarot Masterclass series has now been released in full and is also available to all of my supporting members. My supporting members. Hello. And you're very welcome, Melanie. So good to see you. Always happy to see you. Thank you. Anyway, so in case you don't know, let me just go ahead and do this. If you go to my website, bernardalvarez.com, and /support, you will be able to see all the options. If you'd like to become a member, you can become a member on Facebook. You can become a member on YouTube if you like, and get the Knowing the Tarot Masterclass series in full, as well as the free ebook about earth-based practices. The book, I will say, and let me talk about that for just a second. This is kind of a personal announcement. The mini ebook, I will say, was that I've been writing my book for a while now, and I was getting impatient. So what I did was I took some excerpts out of the book and created a mini ebook for you. So kind of think of it as an appetizer of what my book is going to be. It is going to be on earth-based practices for anybody, no matter what your spiritual background might be. You don't have to be pagan. Well, I guess you would have to be if you're going to do earth spirit practices. But it's going to cover an array of topics, practices. I am halfway done with the manuscript. I've been very busy the last few weeks, so I haven't had an opportunity to work on it. I am hoping for a fall release, and I am kind of looking at it like a textbook, for lack of a better term. I would like to see an earth-based spiritual practices course be developed from it, either by me or from somebody else. But this is what I call my swan song. This is going to be my book of books that I'm hoping will be my legacy. It encompasses my decades and decades of these practices, and I'm trying to put it into book form. So we'll see how good I do. Anyway, so again, next month, June 11th, will be our live Q&A podcast as well. Please remember. Oh, and also June, we're lucky. We have 3 broadcasts in June. I can. You're lucky. I'm not. I got to do more work because we're going to be doing the podcast, and then the following week, the 11th, and then the 18th, we're going to be so close to summer solstice that we're going to go ahead and do our summer solstice ceremony on that day. I believe it's June 18th, and then the following week, we will be doing our little monthly mini class like we did today. So anyway, thank you, everybody. Please become a supporting member. It makes a very huge difference. And yeah, it just makes a very huge difference to me and to those that love the free content that I offer and these lessons and stuff. So you're helping to make that available to them. I think that's the most important thing I want to say here. By you becoming a supporting member, you give me the opportunity to give away free stuff. So thank you. I love you. And I will see you next time. And again, this just a reminder, this will be available until Friday in the archives if you missed the beginning, or those of you who are just coming in at the end, or if you want to watch it again. It's available until Friday in the archives, and then at that point, it will become for supporting members only. But so please feel free to watch this as many times as you want until then, or become a supporting member and watch it forever. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of my life and allowing me to explore these topics with you. Believe it or not, you're working with you is been, I don't want to say it's an inspiration, but it helps motivate me on my own spiritual journey. So for that part, I thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you on June 11th. Bye bye.